So Riccardo, he's a storytelling coach. What a wonderful job, just to get to talk all the time. But that's not surprising because we know he is Italian, so he's got the perfect job. He's been a Toastmaster since 2016, and he's here to inspire us with a speech entitled "The Ball Guy." Let's hear it for Riccardo Ginevri.
Thank you. Imagine all muscle stretch, fingers out, stretched, midair, suspended. I stretch, yet. I know. Even this time, I'm going to fall short. Olympians, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, most welcome guests. This evening, I'm going to walk through a story of leaps and near misses, a story of passion and work, a story of falls and wins. Please sit comfortably. If you have a water, have a sip of water and follow me. Everything started 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I got a degree in electrical engineering, and then I got a post-degree in accounting and economics because I want to win a bursary that allow me to enter in not the most important energy company of Italy, the most important, because there was the time that there was only one company. It was the national energy company of Italy. It was called Enel, and as many people that go out from the university with a degree in electrical engineering, everyone wants to go there. So I applied for my bursary, and I won it. Yes. And my job was to anticipate and to work on what was going to happen. That was the energy market opening. Now, I don't want to go technical, but the point is that when you generate energy, electrical energy, you cannot consume, you cannot put aside. You have to consume at the same time. So it's a very technical, complicated kind of things. So you need to have a background of technical and electrical engineering. But at the same time, the company was looking to someone that have a deep understanding of economics, because market means economics, means that they were going to sell the energy, and they have to understand which kind of power plant they have to sell, which kind of power plant they have to keep, what is the price of the energy. So I was very happy to be into this company and to win the bursary. It was very hard. The selection was hard. And then when I entered to my office, and it was the time that no open space, it was the time that I have my own office. I was a bursary, I have my own office, my desk, my computer. I developed this beautiful simulation, computer simulation with Excel. Yes. Excel will allow me to create a simulation that was simulating in like a couple of hours what the biggest computers of the company was simulating in weeks, months maybe. So I was thinking myself, my career, my professional life is there, is paved by gold. It's like a little leap I can get easily because I know what I'm doing. I studied, and everything was happening exactly the end of the bursary, exactly in this period, in December. In December, I was supposed to get the final answer from one of the 7 directors of the company, because of course in Italy we don't have just one director, we have 7, and we call them the 7 gods. And I still remember his name was Engineer Carta, was the person that shaped the electrical system in Italy. And when I walk in his room, huge room, the desk was in the bottom, beautiful desk in wood. I was thinking myself, yes, that's my time. That's the time that my career was starting. And he looked to my work, look at me, and say, Engineer Ginevri, because at the time we were calling each other with the title. Engineer means engineer, where the lawyer was like avvocato, tal detali. So he looked to me and say, Engineer Ginevri, your work is amazing. It's really, really what we were looking for. We can do a lot of simulation. We can prepare ourselves to the market. And yes, the dream was there, was happening. It was just a little leap. Now, before I go there, in another step, one thing happened that before, when I was studying, I had a girlfriend, and then when I was getting the bursary, I had the same girlfriend, and she was like, okay, when we get married? And she told me, if we don't get married now, never. So I told her, no worries, the dream is there. It's December, we get married in February. And so Engineer Carta looked to my work and say, Enel is ready to become a trading energy company. And then he looked to me and say, you understand what it does mean? I said, no, it means that the company is not looking anymore to build power plants, to build the energy lines. The company doesn't need any more people with a degree in electrical engineering. I'm very sorry, Engineer Ginevri, but we cannot hire you. It was a small leap, but it was a big fall. No work. So I walk outside and I say, okay, what should I do now? And there was the early 2000, and telecommunication was really, really pushing hard. A lot of money was in telecommunication because, of course, every electrical company was looking the same. Every electrical company was looking for the open of the market. EDF, that is Electricité de France, or here in UK. So no work for an electrical engineer. So I looked for telecommunication. It was the time that telecommunication have a lot of money. So was not really a paved road. Was a big, medium leap, let's say. I have to stretch a little bit because I have to learn telecommunication. I have start studying. And incredibly, I was hired by Ericsson after a while. And you are wondering, did I get married? Yes, but unemployed. And then with the young family growing, the people in Ericsson told me, you are perfect for us, but you have to go and work for Ericsson Laboratories, that is in Sweden. So you have to relocate in Sweden. So I relocated to the beautiful Stockholm, minus 25 degrees for 8 months. And I still remember on the phone with my wife, I was telling, it was April, it was like minus 10, and I told her, we were playing football with the t-shirt, the weather is beautiful. And my wife said, how many degrees are? Minus 10. What? In any case, it was a beautiful experience. And I was still like back on the road. My career was there. Well, anyone have heard about the telecommunication bubble? Anyone? Yeah, few. Telecommunication bubble was something that happens like mid-2000. The market get a peak, and then the day after lost 77% of its value of telecommunication and the so-called .com. So my boss in Italy called me in Sweden and say, Riccardo, you have to come back. We have no more budget for the work that you are doing. So I came back to Italy, but I was still stretching because I was still in the run to become the leader of the software development. I saw agile burning. I was programming with extreme programming, so I can get the point. I can get the point. But in 2001 happens another little things. It's called the 9/11. When 9/11 happened, Ericsson decided that it was the time to cut his workforce. And of course, the core business is telecommunication. I was handling with something related to software, computer. So I was much more like an IT person. So they put me in a bucket, outsourced for another company. So my career I fell short, ended here. I was outsourcing an IT company, but the IT company was not doing software development, it was doing IT. Was doing IT outsourcing, moving servers, doing IT services. So I restarted my career. It was another jump. I take my certification on project and program management. I became IT project manager. And this company was Hewlett-Packard. Come on, Hewlett-Packard is a big company. Everyone knows the blue logo, the round blue. The problem is that this kind of company do this kind of job. They acquire people, like Hewlett-Packard acquired from Ericsson, and they change after 8 months their structure, the name of the company, so they can outsource internally the people and make them restarting. So it means that from the round logo HP, I became the square logo of HP. And then from the square logo of HP, I became the square green logo HP operations. And while I was traveling all over Europe to set up the IT services for names like Deutsche Bank or Grosch, Timisoara, Peroni beer was in Rome, I was lucky one, or Kazakhstan Railways, the company was rebadging me every cycle and was restructuring me. And you know what is going to happen? A leap and a fall, a leap and a fall. A leap and a fall. And this was my life for many, many years, hoping every time that I can stretch and grab something. A study says that people that reflect on their challenges are bouncing back 40% more quickly than other people. And I was reflecting a lot, mostly while I was falling. Eventually, I moved to UK. And in the UK, I left Hewlett-Packard, now the enterprise green logo with the black border. I decided to leave the company. And I was looking around, okay, now what about my career? What should I do? And I saw, a friend told me, there is Accenture. It's a consulting technology. You have a great background. You have a background of technical background. You understand technical background. You have a project program management. You worked with many, many big companies. You can do consulting technology. Well, Accenture, if someone knows what consulting companies are like a meat grinder, exactly, a meat grinder. So the leap was a huge leap, because I have to work not 8 to 5, I have to work 9 to 9 every day. And I say, it's time. My career is there, I can do that. I have everything to do that. And so I enter in Accenture. And muscle tight. Me there. Finger outstretched. And I stretch. I stretch. I stretch. And yet, I know. I was now making this, also this time. And, but this time was feeling different. This time, I realized something. Steve Jobs says that you cannot connect the dots if you look forward. You can connect the dots only if you look backward, because you can see them. And then I realized that all my life, I learned how to fall. I learned how to fall in style, with grace. I learned also to fall and stand up even before the dust was settled. But this was not my goal. My goal was not to fall in style. My goal was to fly. How I can fly? Well, you can fly if you have wings. And where are my wings? And I realized After 10 years of speeches, after 10 years of evaluation, after 10 years of table topics, after 10 years of club officer, Toastmaster, give me the answer. I already had the wings. The wings were my voice. My voice are my wings. And so I realized one important thing, that when we are here on this stage, we are not just delivering a speech. We are becoming. Every table topic is a little leap. Every speech, every project is a flutter of wings. And everything is supported by our voice. So if you find your voice, you can tell your story. And then there is another step, because of course you have the wings, but then you have to learn how to fly. And learn how to fly is learning your story. Because every time that I fall, every time that I rebadge, every time that I change company, every time that I restart my studying and changing my role, I was not just falling with style. I was gathering stories. And here is the point. If you have your voice, then you can shape your stories. And if you know your stories, then you are not just falling, you are flying. Mr. Toastmaster.